Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are obviously in 2024 and hopefully that means a bunch of great books to be read this year. Don't we all just have like a huge physical TBR that we have not read yet? I think so. So in this video I wanted to go through my physical TBR for 2024 with you guys, and hopefully I will get to read most of these books. If any of these books that I show you guys are some of you guys' favorite that you just feel like I need to read, please tell me in the comments and I will do so. Take that into consideration just because I have so many books that I want to read, so it's so hard for me to pick. I'm just going to be pulling my books out of my bookshelf and I have them in kind of like genres. So without further ado, let's just get into my physical TBR. I'm going to start up here, which you can't really see, but over here I have my Dark Academia books. So my first book, my physical TBR, is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This has been standing on my shelves for forever. I think I bought this in like 2022. And this was like hella expensive, so why haven't I read it? I don't know. This is like an old TikTok fave, I think. I don't really see it anymore, but I'm really excited to read it. It's just the pages are like... And I hate when it takes like 100 years for me to read a page. But I'm really excited to read this. This is basically about some people fighting for a spot in a secret society, I'm pretty sure. And they're magicians, something like that. I don't know much more actually, but I love Dark Academia, so I'm excited to get into this. Now the next is another absolute classic, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I actually started this in I think early 2023, but I read about 100 pages and I never got back to it. It's a pretty long book. It's like 600 pages, and as you know, I've been in a slump, so I don't know, I never continued it. It was not even because it was bad. It was actually really good. I really liked it. It's basically about this man who's like starting at this university. I don't remember if it's like philosophy or if it's like Greek or something like that he's studying, but basically there's this teacher at this college who has like very small class. You really have to like impress him to get into his classes. I don't really remember, something like that, and there are only 4 students in his class. Somehow the protagonist like makes a big impression, so he gets assigned to his classes, and then he basically gets to know these like students, which is like a very special group. And all I know is one of them dies at some point, but I don't know much more. But I really enjoyed the first 100 pages. I love reading about like schools and elite schools, people who are studying like these cool subjects and stuff. I don't know what it is about it, it's just so much fun. My last Dark Academia book is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, one of the many Leigh Bardugo books that I have on my shelf. I have not read one of them yet, so very much like the other 2. This actually takes place at Yale, which is one of my favorite universities. Yale University and Cambridge are like my 2 favorite things in the entire world. If I could go to either, I would literally die, but I know I can't, so I can live through this book. But basically, again, it's some secret society, and I also heard there's some dark magic in this one. Honestly, this one I'm not really sure what it's about, but it's a Dark Academia book happening in jail with secret societies and magic. Like, what more can you ask for? Now we're getting into a little bit of classics, and the first one is Anne Frank's diary. For a trip with my school, I was in Amsterdam where we visited Anne Frank's house, and I got her book, and I actually started there. I got into like 70 pages of the book, and it was actually really interesting to see because obviously it's like a real girl who's written this, but I never really got any further with it. Honestly, I don't think that this is one of my top books I'm gonna read, but I would love to read it at some point, so I'm really happy to have it on my shelves. Next, I just quickly have 6 classics to show you. So the first 3 books are from Shakespeare, and I got these because I read If We Were Villains, and I just never really got around to read them. But I got Julius Caesar, Macbeth, and Romeo and Juliet just because it was like a 3-for-2 bundle, so you can like pick and choose, so I got these 3. And like I said, I never really got around to read them. I don't know, I always forget these are like on my shelves. And of course, I have to have 3 Jane Austen books, some of her most popular ones. I have Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, and Emma. And I started Pride and Prejudice, but let's just say I'm not really a classic type of girl. I bought these such a long time ago just because I really wanted to be one. After I read a Dark Academia book, I don't know if it's just me, but I want to feel smart, so I want to read like classics and like Shakespeare and all this, but I need to be for real because that's just not me. So but now I have the option, like I have 6 books to start on if I want to be a classics reader. Now we're getting into a larger genre, which I have a bunch of books in, and that is, I have a little bit of dystopian and then like primarily fantasy. So the first book in this category is The Selection by Kira Cass, I think. This is a book that I really want to get started on just because I miss like a good old dystopian, and I'm pretty sure this is dystopian. Either way, it's YA, it's short, I think it's gonna be fun. It's like meant for like 12, 13, 14-year-olds, I'm pretty sure, so it's just, I don't like being in the middle of too many series at a time, so this has just not been a top priority, but definitely will be in 2024. The next book is also a good old book talk classic, and that is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This was on sale, which was the primary reason to why I bought it, but I also really want to read it. I don't remember much about what this is about. I think it's like people are split up between color their blood is, and I think I saw a TikTok that said if you like the Cruel Prince trilogy, you should read this. But I'm really excited to get into this, but again, same problem, don't like to be in the middle of too many series. Now the next 3 books I have to show you guys are a little bit in the wrong section because these 3 are actually dark romances, I'm pretty sure. I just like the covers to be in like my fantasy section just because these are my only dark romances. This is the 3 first books in the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. Yeah, I have Hooked, Scarred, and Wretched, and Hooked has honestly been on my radar the last couple months, but it's just always been my number 2 priority. Then I started the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, then I started ACOTAR. This will definitely be one of the first books I read this year, I think, just because, I don't know, I've heard so many good things about it lately. Yeah, I don't remember what it's about at all, but I found out that it's actually standalone. At first, I thought it was like a fantasy dark romance trilogy, which is like so far from the truth. I have no idea where I got that from. These covers are like one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen, and I love having them on my shelves, and I know that I'm gonna get into them soon, and I'm so excited to do so. Everyone says that they're so good. I can't wait. Honestly, like I want to read them right now, but there's a good reason to why I'm not, which I will get into in just a moment. Oh, Holly Black has commented on these books. Now these books are a trilogy, and they are the Schoolman's series. It's the A Deadly Education series. Again, these covers are just so pretty. Let's just be honest, these aren't really that high on my radar right now. I'm pretty sure that this is like a series about like a magic school, but there are no teachers and there's like monsters and such at the school. I don't know. That's about all I know. Oh my god, I really want to get to these actually. I have so many series that I want to get to just because I've heard about this series like such a long time ago. I heard about it the first time in 2021 and I was like, I need to read those. Now I have them on my shelves and I just have not read them, so I really have to get to these. Now we're getting down to the second shelf. See, like we're going fast. Now the next 3 books are why I can't read Hooked right now, because the next 3 books I'm going to show you are the last 3 books in the ACOTAR series by Sarah J Maas. Of course, we have A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. Now currently I'm reading Icebreaker, but I'm like 99% sure that the next book I will get started on will be A Court of Wings and Ruin, just because, first of all, the last time I made a mistake. I waited too long between the first and second book, so I couldn't really enjoy the second book to the fullest. So I think if I start this like now, I'm gonna enjoy it so much more. And let's be honest, I really enjoyed Ekimoff's ending, so I just have to get into this. I'm so excited, but this is like 700 pages, so I'm also scared. These are a definite 2024 read. Now, early in this video, I said that Ninth House was one of my mini Libraduca books that I have not read yet. And that is because I have the entire Shadow and Bone trilogy with me here, which I've also wanted to read for so long, and I actually thought I would read this after ACOTAR, but after I started looking at like the other books that I've shown you guys, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna read next, but we'll figure out. I have a 700-page book to get through first. Another TikTok classic from 2021. Again, not really sure what these are about. I actually got these because I wanted to read these before this duology that I have not read either. And that is because the next two Lee Bardugo books I have is obviously the Six of Crows duology. I've heard so much good about these two books and I've wanted to read them for literal years, but I've heard people say that it's better if you read the Shadow and Bone trilogy first. And when people say that, you need to listen, because I see people reading Once Upon a Broken Heart without reading Caraval first. And I'm sorry, but like, you need to do that to enjoy Once Upon a Broken Heart to the fullest. Like, that's just my personal opinion. I think you'll enjoy it so much more. The same with like The Stolen Heir and The Cruel Prince. Read the Cruel Prince trilogy and then read The Stolen Heir. Like, so when people say to read something before another series, I will always listen because they're always right. Have no idea what these are about. I'm pretty sure it's like thieves, and that's about all I know, but I'm really excited to get to these, but have a bunch of books to get through first, so hopefully. So that was basically all my dystopian fantasy books, so now we're getting into the romance section. Actually, I do have a bit more fantasy, but I have like a shelf that's just a mixture of books, so in the end there would be like a good mix of like everything. I have a bunch of series here. The first books on my romance shelf that I haven't read are the two last books in the Twisted series. I read Twisted Love and Twisted Games. So far, Twisted Love is probably my favorite, by Anna Huang, by the way. But I still have Twisted Hate and Twisted Lies to go. Now, these are pretty thick and I don't really like thick romance books. This is about 500 pages. Okay, so these are not like on the top, also just because right now I'm not really that into romance. I just am a fantasy reader by heart and I cannot escape it, but I have these two books to go with. Now the next book is about Jules and Josh, and it's a it's a sister's best friend. Y'all, you don't... I love the brother's best friend's sister's best friend trope. Like, that is just... it hits the spot. And Jules and Josh, it's gonna be like an epic enemies to lovers, sister's best friend romance, and I just know it is. I'm so excited, but probably not one of the next books that I'll read. Now, a little fun combination of books, but I have the first and the third copy of the Dreamland Billionaire series. I'm also so excited to read this. Like, okay, get yourself together. By Lauren Asher. Basically, these are my first Lauren Asher books and I'm so excited. So basically, I have the fine print and the final offer. Again, probably not one of my next reads just because I'm not really that into romance at the moment, but if I do get into romance again, these will probably be one of my first picks just because I've heard so much about this series and I'm so excited to read about it. I love a good billionaire romance. Like, if I'm gonna read about a romance, a good billionaire romance hits the spot. The next book is actually a standalone and that is You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. I cannot believe that I have not read a single Emily Henry book yet. I remember I tried starting this a little more than a year ago, but I never really got that into it. I still don't really know what it's about. I'm pretty sure that it's about two best friends who always used to go on like vacations together. Then they suddenly stopped, but now they're going on like a vacation again. Interesting. Again, another old book talk classic that I just have not gotten to, and don't think this is going to be one of my first picks, but I need to read an Emily Henry book. I need to know what the hype is about. Now, one of my last romance books is Tomorrow, Tomorrow, Tomorrow by Gabriel Seven, I don't know. Also, let's take a minute for this cover as well. Like, so freaking pretty. I really want to get to this, let me be honest, but I don't know why I feel like it's gonna be a hard read. I don't know why. I feel like it's gonna feel like a fiction book. I don't know, but I'm honestly really excited to read this and I really want to. I'm just a little scared. I'm pretty sure it's like about two people. I'm not sure if they're friends. I'm not sure. But basically, I'm actually not sure if this is a romance or if it's a fiction book. Anyways, it was very popular a few months ago and I just need to know about the hype, and now I'm just putting mystery, thriller, horror books together in one big pile. And the first book that I have is Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. This is the second book in a Good Girls Guide to Murder series. I had like a feeling, I think last year or either in 23 or 22, I don't remember. I really want to read the second book in the series, and it's not even like I enjoyed the first one that much. I don't remember what I rated it. I think it's like a proper 3-4 stars. I don't remember. Like it was fine book. I don't really see the hype about it, but like it was fine. And I got a sudden urge to read this one, and I bought it and I never got around to read it. So now I have it on my shelves. I have not read the first one in so long, so I don't remember much even. The next one is a book that I got for my 17th birthday, which is a little over a year ago, and that is You by Caroline Kepnes. This is also a book that I really want to get to. This is the Netflix series You's book, or the Netflix series is like based on this book series. And I really want to watch You, but I want to read the books first, but it's just I have not got to them yet. I'm really excited though. Like honestly, I'm really excited. It's like about a stalker. Like a man who's stalking this woman, and he's like a little insane, and it's just, I love it. This is definitely gonna be a read this year. I'm really excited to get started on it. Next up, we have The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I don't know. Oh my god, I put in a tab because I started this book actually to put it down again. I don't even know why, because it was really interesting. I just think it's a book that you have to get into, and I'm really excited to read this one. I really hope that I'm gonna read it in 2024. I just want to be in the mood for this one because this is a book that I really want to get like really into. It's about this man who starts working at this mental hospital, I'm pretty sure, because he's really interested in this woman who killed her husband, and then since she has not spoken. That sounds very interesting, and I want to know the plot twist. People are saying that this has an incredible plot twist, and I'm so excited to read about it because I just love books with a crazy plot twist. Now this is my only horror book, and that is Bonnie by Mona Awad. I think that's how you pronounce it. This has also been a book that I've wanted to read many times, but I don't know why I never picked it up. It sounds really interesting. People say that this is like a very weird book, that when they finish it they were kind of like, what did I just read? And I love those kind of books, so I really want to see what this book is about and like what people are talking about. Now I'm going into like the last shelf I have, which is just a mixture where the books didn't really fit into the shelf. So I have some romance, fantasy, different things. First off, I have all of the After books. I'm just gonna take the first one because they're thick, but I actually did start this many times. I can tell that I'm on page 128 and I just stopped, but it's been years since I've read this. And honestly, I don't really feel a need to read this. This is not a series that I necessarily really want to read because I got these books like many years ago. I just never got around to read them because I don't really like the series and I really hate the movies. So maybe I'll read them one day, maybe I won't. This next book is a Danish copy, but it is Adoria's Diamond by Rachel Med. I also bought this a few years ago, read about half of it, and then I stopped. I don't know if I was just bored or whatever. I really want to read this at some point again, just because it was actually pretty interesting. I don't know why I stopped, but I think like now I would really enjoy the book, so I really want to read this again, get into the series. I just always forget that I have this book, honestly, because it's like on the bottom of my shelves, and it's such an old book. It's about this girl who's like, I don't know if she's like a princess or something, but basically she don't really like her life, and she basically goes to this like school where she goes to this school or place where girls who don't have like that much money and such are being taught to be like rich girls and stuff like that, with like etiquette and everything, and then at one point they're gonna find like a man to marry them. So basically this rich girl goes to this place to learn to be a rich girl with etiquette, but she already knows all the things. So really fun, a little undercover. Another TikTok classic, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Don't think this is a book I will be reading any soon. It's a Greek mythology something, so hopefully I will read it at one point because I really want to love this book. I want to be a person who can say I love The Song of Achilles. We'll see if it's gonna be this year. Now my last fiction book is a fantasy, which is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. I'm really excited to read this. Honestly, I have no idea what it's about. No idea. I just heard so many good things about it, so I bought it. And hopefully I will get into it this year. This is actually one of the books like on top of my TBR. I don't know why, because like I said, I have no idea what it's about, but now lastly, I'm just gonna quickly show you the 4 remaining books because they aren't like fiction books. I first of all have Tom Felton's autobiography, Beyond the Wand, which I am currently reading. I'm just picking it up sometimes. I'm not really that far into it. I've read like 1/3 of it. Sometimes I pick it up. I was a huge Tom Poston fan in 2020, 2021. Draco Talk, everything. Like, I loved him so much. So when this copy came out, I had to get it. I read a little bit in it sometimes. And lastly, I have a bit self-help books. I have How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I have Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson. And The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. I don't really read self-help books, so I don't know why I bought these. I really want to read them. But when I have fiction books on my shelves, I can read a fantasy book. I'm just gonna pick that over these. But hopefully I'll get to them this year because I really want to read them. I bought them for a reason because I think they are really interesting. But those are basically all of my books on my physical TBR. Most of them were fantasy series, so that's why I have a bigger TBR, just because, like I said, they are in series. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've read any of these books that you really enjoy and that you think I just have to read right this moment, tell me in the comments. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of the video. I hope I see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.